Hi there, friends. I'm Vasco. I'm part of the team behind the first global Scrum Master Summit. If you're a Scrum Master, the Scrum Master Summit is a place to learn, to share, and to meet new friends. We will have lots of live sessions where you can meet and network with other Scrum Masters from all over the globe. So make sure you check it at bit.ly/SM Summit and the numeral 21. That's bit.ly/SMSUMMIT21. We have 7 amazing keynotes or more, as we are still organizing the conference as I record this, and 8 tracks that feature people like you and thought leaders sharing their insights and knowledge to help you become an awesome Scrum Master. So once again, check it out at bit.ly/SM Summit 21. That's all lowercase, all one word, SM Summit and the numeral 21. I'll see you on the virtual conference floor. All right, now on to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Success Thursday this week with Rob Cooper. Hi, Rob. Welcome back.
Hi again. Good to be here.
So, Rob, on Thursdays, we explore what success means for Scrum Masters. But before we dive into that, of course, let's talk about the tool that we use to reach that successful outcome for our work, which is the retrospective. So share with us, what is your favorite retrospective format and why?
Yeah, I think there's probably a couple of different areas. So I think for me, any retrospective that is actually themed, because I enjoy this because it's kind of fun, and I think used judiciously, a good themed retrospective can sort of lift and just it actually forces you to rethink what is essentially retrospectives that underneath the hood. They're broadly can be a similar kind of thing. So that's one thing that I really like. And a sort of a follow-on from that is Diana Larsen's soup technique, which is, it's maybe not purely a retrospective in its own right, but it sort of follows hot on the heels of a retrospective. And so that's where, when you're trying to look about or help a team think about what they can change in influence and work around. So for those who are not aware of it, I'd really recommend checking this out. So Diana Larsen's soup technique, and it's you can Google it up. But if you imagine sort of 3 concentric circles, and you from a retrospective, you may generate sort of several actions that the team find challenging. But the team are confused or frustrated because they go, well, we can't do anything. These things are too difficult. And often some of the things that they raise will be very, very tough to change. So this technique helps the team figure out the things that they can directly have control in, and that's the center of the sort of the innermost concentric circle. And you get them to put the issues. What is it that they can actually directly go out and do over the next few days? Great, put those ones in the center. Then there's the ones that we can't directly change ourselves. It's not within our gift. But the things that we can influence, then you get them to put those in the next next concentric circle. And then the things that they probably can't even influence, but they can choose a proactive response around. So it might be that you can't change the weather. I don't think you can change weather. You can't change the weather. But what you can do is you can choose either to put on appropriate clothing. You can choose when you plan. You can look ahead and you can choose when you can go for a particular outing. Or you can choose just to stay indoors if it's really bad weather. So then you're not being sort of, it's a way of taking control over situations that you may not be able to change, but at least you can figure out, well, what is your response going to be?
And of course, this is 2021, early 2021, as we are recording, the current situation with the worldwide pandemic is a very graphical example of things we can't influence, but we can decide how we react to it.
Totally.
Well, that was a great reminder of the soup technique by Diana Larsen. I will put the link on the show notes so that you guys listening can easily find it and apply it in your own work. Now we turn our attention to success as Scrum Master. So, Rob, share with us, what's your definition for success in the Scrum Master role?
This is one of a really tricky question, because for me the Scrum Master role is a little bit like a chameleon. It's a little bit like you need to be what the team needs you to be, and not what they think they need you to be. I should kind of qualify that. So if they think they need an admin assistant, no, they don't need an admin assistant. They need somebody to teach them more about the basics of what Scrum is, or so let's just sort of differentiate that. But within that, what success could mean for a particular team or system that you're working within could mean a lot of different things. And I think that's really the overriding impression I've experienced as working in the Scrum Master role over the years, that it's changed every single time, and even within the role, it's changed. Well, so what I needed to do in terms of my own success as a Scrum Master for a particular team has changed. So it might have been that I needed to flat out teach about Scrum. That might be one of the kind of very early things to say, okay, let's focus on what Scrum needs. And so when the team can articulate and then start to embrace some of the practices, I can think of a couple of situations. That was a good step one. That was success, because it got them from a particular place where they were into the next stage along. But for another team, it might be that they were working pretty well, and this Scrum Master role, that the measure of success for that was more about how I was able to influence a engineering manager or a manager of that team to start to allow the team a little bit more autonomy, and to coach that particular manager, well, mentor and coach, to allow them to feel safe about not moving away, but actually giving up some of the things that didn't matter anyway, and actually finding the things that they could actually add more value in their role.
So kind of to provide the basis for the team to continue to evolve, right?
Absolutely. And so that, for me, that was a huge success, because then that had a great impact on the team, because in turn, they felt more trusted by their manager. They felt more empowered. They felt happy that they could start to run with things. And there's still, there's guidelines and sort of checks and balances, but still they were given much more room. And equally, the engineering manager was able to start to expand their role actually into sort of more interesting things. They could take actually slightly more kind of broader role. So it's good.
I really like your definition of success as, constantly changing. You said that the Scrum Master role is a bit of a chameleon sometimes. And I think that's a beautiful way to call out also our need to be aware of the environment, that sometimes the role of the Scrum Master, to be successful as a Scrum Master, we need to cover basic things, like just make sure the stand-up is focused on collaboration instead of status reporting. And other times it might be to bring change to a wider organization, multiple teams, or work with management and coach up, as it were, to allow the team to grow because of the restrictions that hopefully we can remove from management perspective. So I like that, because it's also a way for us to keep alert, because there's a danger for Scrum Masters to be kind of stuck in the process. And, I just need to make myself unneeded or unnecessary for the team. Yeah, but that's way too generic. We need to be more specific. And you just gave us several different examples of how we can be specific about success and define it, which I think is, for me, the biggest contribution of this conversation, specifically for each team that we work with.
Yeah, it reminds me of we think about this principle of Kaizen, and we think about continuous improvement, and we often talk about the team and we help the team sort of self-improve. Now, that's good, but often we think that when you talk to teams, that there's this kind of they're expected constantly to do better and better and better. But actually, my sort of perspective with that is that it's more about making sure the team is correctly oriented towards what is needed by the team, by the organization. And in the same way, a Scrum Master, their own Kaizen, their own continuous improvement is not necessarily so much about achieving ever higher advantage, ever higher sort of, metric on something, but rather that they are continually orienting themselves optimally towards what the team requires. So that's just a kind of to me, that's success.
Yeah, a great way to recap, right? Our growth is about orienting ourselves to what the team requires. That's a great way to put it. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Welcome.
Part of a successful Scrum Master job is to help the product owner. Tomorrow we explore that critical role in Scrum, the product owner role. Tune in to learn about product owner anti-patterns, what you can do to help the product owner, and a real-life example of what a great product owner is and what made it so. Tomorrow on our Friday Product Owner episode. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.